All right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Meralco Power Up Live, powering business resilience. Now, Power Up Live is a webinar series which aims to empower small and medium businesses through Meralco services and solutions. But first things first, hope you wouldn't mind me introducing myself to all of you. My name is Kevin La Peña, and I'm happy to be your host for this afternoon's program. Okay, so through this afternoon's webinar, Meralco aims to specifically address your questions and concerns with regard to power quality. Rest assured that you can always count on Meralco and its subsidiary partners to help your business operate efficiently. And we hope that you'll listen attentively and participate in the discussions so that our panel of experts can answer your concerns and inquiries. So please stay tuned and remain engaged throughout the webinar as we have a lot in store for all of you this afternoon. But before we move on with our program, we'd like to remind everybody to please find a good spot where your internet signal is strong, because we wouldn't want you to miss out on the interesting discussions and exciting games later on. So if you have any comments or questions about the presentations, please do go ahead and type them into the Q&A tab so we can address these during our panel discussion later on in the program. And should you have account-specific concerns, you may send your message through the link that we're also going to be sending in our chat box, or alternatively, you can also scan the QR code, which you can see right now. And to add some fun to our Power Up Live webinar, we also have a trivia game as well. So just make sure to listen attentively so you can answer our questions. Lucky winners will receive special prizes from Meralco. Okay, so with all that being said, before we proceed with the presentations for this afternoon, I just want to check in on how you guys are doing so far. And what we usually do is, we want to do this via this little thing that we'd like to call the Mentimeter, okay? So may I please invite everybody to visit menti.com and type the code that you see on your screens. Or you may also simply scan the QR code or visit the link sent in the chat box to join. All right? So now that we have all these details on screen, and I hope you were paying attention as to where you're supposed to log into, so it's menti.com. So far, I can already see a handful of people joining in. And as soon as you're on the platform or the website, you will be asked to answer a few questions, okay? So siguro, I'm going to give you a few more seconds for us to be able to have more people come in. And in a few moments, I will be sharing with you the very first question in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so question number 1, just to get a gauge of how you guys are doing before we start, in one word, can you please describe how you are feeling this afternoon? Okay, so obviously no right or wrong answers here. Kumakapala muna kami dito, just so we know how you guys are doing before we start with proceeding with the rest of the program. So please do type in your answers now. Okay, great, good, excited. The top 3 answers that we were looking for before we begin. Okay, a lot of variety here, but then more than anything, I'm happy to be able to see na excited din kayo, and you are happy to be here with us this afternoon. Thank you very much. I think it's safe for us to proceed with the next question. Okay, thank you again to everybody who typed in your answers. Now, we proceed with question number 2. Again, survey lang muna to, okay? Have you encountered, or have you ever encountered, power quality issues before? Okay, yes or no? It's a simple yes or no question. Please type in your answers right now. We just want to get to see if you've experienced issues like this in the past. Oh my goodness. Almost everybody here right now has already experienced a power quality issue in the past. Well, lucky for you guys, that's what we're going to be addressing in our webinar this afternoon. So thank you again to everybody for your cooperation and for chiming in with your answers. And with that, I think it's safe for us to officially get this program started. So ladies and gentlemen, here to formally welcome everybody to Meralco Power Up Live, powering business resilience. And this is my personal favorite part of the program. Please give it up for the Assistant Vice President and Head of Meralco Biz, Miss Joy Mendoza.
Thank you so much, Kevin, and good to see you again. Good afternoon to all our dear customers, and thank you so much for making it to today's webinar. Please allow me to welcome you all to Power Up Live, brought to you by Meralco Biz. Meralco Biz is a dedicated segment of Meralco to providing end-to-end energy solutions to our small and medium enterprise customers, or the SMEs. Well, good power quality ensures optimized operations and longer equipment life. Sabi nga nila, hindi naaantala ang operations or negosyo at maging walang mga equipment na maapektuhan. And maintaining good power quality is a shared responsibility between Meralco and you, our dear customers. And this is practically the reason why we are bringing you today this webinar for us to discuss Meralco's power quality initiatives, as well as power quality solutions that you can apply to your respective businesses. And so I hope today's session will be very, very productive and highly relevant for you. And I also look forward to seeing you in our future Power Up Live events as we continue to bring you energy services and solutions that can power a brighter tomorrow for your business. Maraming salamat po at magandang hapon sa inyong lahat.
Maraming salamat din po sa inyo, Ms. Joy, and magandang hapon din po sa inyo. A virtual round of applause for Ms. Joy Mendoza, everybody. Thank you very much. And just to take away from what Ms. Joy said earlier, very lucky for all of us to be here this afternoon, especially after finding out that most of you have already experienced power issues before. So that's why we're all here to be able to address all those concerns that you might have experienced in the past. So with that, why don't we call in our very first speaker for this afternoon? She will be presenting the energy services and solutions being offered by Meralco Biz. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for one of the customer service engineers from Meralco Biz, Ms. Laser Joy Cueto.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Kevin, for the introduction. So hi, I am Laser Joy Cueto, a customer service engineer from Meralco Biz. Nandito po ako para i-share ang mga programs and services ng Meralco na makakatulong sa business nyo. So let me start my presentation. To start, as a background, Meralco is segmented into three in order to manage and address the varying needs of our customers. So residential, micro businesses, and local government accounts are under our Home and Microbiz Partners Group, while corporate and national government accounts are under Corporate Partners Group. Small and medium enterprises, or SMEs, like you, are being served by our segment, the Meralco Biz Partners Group. Now, allow me to share with you the benefits of having that partnership and collaboration with Meralco. As your end-to-end energy solutions partner, we can help you at any stage of your business, whether you are setting up a new one, recovering from the crisis, or planning to expand. We have services and solutions that can address your needs. So for the first benefit, we can power up your business in time for your target opening through site assessment and timely energization, just like what we are doing for Alpha Mart and NBT. For new businesses, doing site assessment for electrical facilities is as beneficial as you do site assessment in terms of location and market to maximize savings. We can help you find the right location with available Meralco facilities matched with your power requirements and make sure your business is powered when you need it to prevent unnecessary losses. So again, close collaboration with us in as early as the planning stage will result in timely, safe, and hassle-free energization. Secondly, as your business operates and grows, your needs change as well. So as your end-to-end energy solutions partner, we offer services and solutions that can help you improve operational efficiency, generate savings, and maximize profitability. These services include free power consult, power match, and the peak off-peak program. So Betty-Foam and Farmers are some of the customers who have availed of these services to be able to identify their energy concerns, and we, Meralco, offer them the right solutions. As I mentioned earlier, we offer free power consult that will help you manage day-to-day operations and help you achieve the highest level of efficiency for your business. And when your business has grown significantly, or you have plans to reduce operations for quite some time, we can assess if your power supply still matches your new power requirement. That is through Power Match. Now let's proceed with the Peak Off-Peak program. What is the Peak Off-Peak or POP program? This is an alternative energy pricing scheme designed to help business owners lower their total electricity expenses through rates based on peak and off-peak periods. Basically, the concept of Peak Off-Peak program is to encourage our customers to shift or have a higher energy consumption during the off-peak hours where the rate or price of electricity is lower, and minimize their energy consumption during the peak hours where the rate is higher. This program is best for businesses that operate or can shift a larger part of their energy-intensive operations to off-peak hours and Sundays. So as we can see from the table on the presentation, for Mondays to Saturdays, we have 11 off-peak hours starting from 9 p.m. to 8 a.m. And note, for Sundays, we have 22 off-peak hours from 8 p.m. to 6 p.m. So the only peak hours during Sunday is between 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. For the generation rate, the POP rate during peak hours is around 7.4 peso per kilowatt hour, while the rate during off-peak hours is around 3.5 peso per kilowatt hour. So normally, the beneficiaries of the programs are businesses with 24/7 operation, businesses with multiple shifts, businesses that have Sunday operations, because as I said earlier, we have 22 hours off-peak period for Sundays, and of course, businesses with flexible schedule and can shift their operations to off-peak periods. So we have other services which we offer, like net metering and zero export, auto payment, and B2B networking. So here are some customers who have benefited from these services. To go through them one by one, in support of the Renewable Energy Act, Meralco provides an option to our customers to install renewable energy facilities and interconnect it with the grid. So if you would wish to go for solar panel installation, we strongly recommend to have it registered under the net metering program for a safe interconnection, stable power, and ultimately for savings to be realized. But why are we doing net metering? Under net metering, your regular meter will be replaced with a net meter. This allows us to capture actual consumption of the customer versus the excess electricity generated by their RE facility, which is being exported to the grid. Then that excess electricity will be credited to your bills and essentially becomes your savings. However, without net metering, this excess electricity may even be read by your regular meter as an added consumption and may also add to your bill. So, it is best to inform Meralco if you are planning to have a solar panel installation. The maximum RE installation capacity eligible to net metering program is up to 100 kilowatts. So for customers with RE installations of more than 100 kilowatt and do not intend to export energy to Meralco, they are still required to inform the DU about such installations to ensure that the RE facility does not inadvertently leak energy back to the grid. So with zero export, all the generated energy of the customer's RE facilities will solely be used by the customer. For your convenience, we also offer automatic payment arrangement or APA. So through your bank or credit card, automatic payment arrangement is convenient and can help you in avoiding long lines in our authorized payment centers. But most importantly, it also helps you avoid missed due dates. So to enroll, you may contact your bank partner. On top of all this, we can introduce you to our wide network of customers and business partners through business-to-business networking. If you need a supplier of raw materials or would like to find businesses which can sell or distribute your products, we can introduce you to our customers who can address your requirements. Lastly, we can introduce and leverage on the capabilities of our subsidiaries and affiliates for innovative solutions and technologies. Here we have Spectrum, Radius, Isakay, Miescore, MServe, Customer Frontline. So Spectrum is our solar power company. One of our customers have been generating savings which help sustain their operations despite the pandemic, like Centro Mall. Radius Telecoms, our internet service provider, has fully redundant network that runs on 100% pure fiber. Isakay is engaged in the business of owning, maintaining, and operating electric vehicles, charging stations, and batteries. Miescore provides engineering, procurement, construction, maintenance, and project management services. Customer Frontline Solutions fully manages the frontline service requirements of selected top Philippine corporations, while MServe is one of the largest electromechanical contractors in the country, which offers solutions on energy and operational efficiency, indoor air quality, and electrical safety. So on the screen, you can see our customers who have availed of our subsidiaries. And if you want to be like them, you can reach out to us and we can help you engage with our subsidiaries. So we've partnered with and helped a lot of business owners like you, and we hope to partner with you too. These are just some of our many partners with their success stories achieved through Meralco partnership. If you want to consult with us and learn more about our services, you can visit our website, email us, or call our hotline. So allow us to help you bounce back and grow your business with Meralco Biz. I hope the services we shared with you today inspired you to collaborate with us so we can power a brighter tomorrow for your business. Again, this is Laser Joy Cueto, your customer service engineer from Meralco Biz. Thank you, and that's it for my presentation. Back to you, Kevin.
All right. Thank you very much, Ms. Laser. Very vital information and insights from her presentation. So I hope you guys are paying attention, not just because we might have a little prize for some of you later on, but also because these are going to be very important, especially for you guys who run businesses. So by the way, for those of you who might want a copy of Ms. Cueto's presentation, a recording of this webinar will be uploaded on the Meralco website. So don't worry, once the link is available, it will be shared to all our registered attendees. Also, if you might have any questions on the presentations, please go ahead and type them on the Q&A tab below, because later on, we're going to be addressing them during our panel discussion. Okay, so now, what would a webinar such as this be without having some fun at the same time? So with that, why don't we play a quick trivia challenge? All right. So we're going to be asking a question based on Ms. Cueto's presentation to check if you really paid attention. All right. So all you need to do is just type in your answer in the chat box, and whoever sends in the correct answer ahead of everybody else wins a special prize. Okay. So the name of the game is Paunahan. Okay. So listen up, because here is our very first trivia question. Name at least one Meralco program or service that can empower biz customers. So there are a variety of answers that we're looking for. All you need to do is just type at least one. Go ahead and type in your answers in the chat box now. All right, so there are several possible correct answers that we're looking for. We're just looking for one, and we're looking for the person that types in the correct answer the fastest, okay? So with a lot of people starting to type in their answers, we're gonna give you 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Thank you very much to everybody who joined in our little game. The best of luck to all of you, because later on we're going to be announcing the official winners by the end of the program. Okay? So if you answered any of these, tama yung nasagot ninyo. All right? It's flashed on the screens now. Site assessment, timely energization, power consult, power match, peak off peak, net metering, zero export, auto payment arrangement, and B2B networking. We're going to be verifying and we're going to be checking out all the entries and announce the winner by the end of our program. So good luck to all of you and congratulations in advance to everybody who got this question correctly. So in the meantime, our next speaker will be talking about power quality, its impact to your business, and your role in ensuring good power quality. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, why don't we all welcome Meralco's System Analysis Officer, who is also the chairman of the Oplan Daguitab Committee and member of the Information Technology and Quality Committee of the Institute of Integrated Electrical Engineers of the Philippines. Friends, let's give a very warm welcome for Mr. Vincent Pelago.
Thank you, Kevin, for the introduction. Again, good afternoon to everyone. I'm Vincent Pelago. I've been with Meralco for more than 17 years of service. And this afternoon, I'll be discussing about understanding power quality. So let me share my screen. Okay, so for the overview, first, what is power quality? Followed by some common issues in power quality. And last is the preventive measures done by Meralco to prevent or to address these power quality concerns. So power quality is, before we go to power quality, we have to check first the overview of the Philippine power industry for us to grasp what is the importance of power quality and how it is being solved. So for the overview, there are four major parts of the Philippine power industry. First is the generation. This is where the generation companies produce electricity and to give supply to the distribution utility. Through the transmission, this is where the transmission companies deliver electricity to Meralco and to other utilities, and distribution utility companies like Meralco deliver electricity to the customers. And to our end users, as mentioned by our speaker earlier, for Meralco, there are three types of segments. So these are being power delivered to our customers that are being subject to taxes and other government charges. So for Meralco, we are here at the distribution part of the power industry. So for power quality as defined in our Philippine Distribution Code or PDC, it is the quality of the voltage, including the frequency and the resulting current that are being measured in our system during normal conditions. So when we say during normal condition, this is where there are no typhoons, there are no supply deficiency. And power quality is all about electromagnetic compatibility. It means that our equipment or appliances will be able to operate satisfactorily without being experience disturbances from our supply or being able to operate without having disturbance or resulting disturbance to our system going back to our supply. So as stated in our Philippine Distribution Code, these are some of the standards for the distribution utilities. First is the frequency variations. So our frequency for the Philippines is 60 Hertz, and with the allowable variation between 59.7 up to 60.3 Hertz. Although Meralco does not directly control the frequency as it is the function of our system operator, the NGCP, but we aid in assistance to maintain the allowable frequency at this range. Thus, we do have some load dropping and either manual or automatic load dropping that is for us to maintain the frequency between the supply and the demand. And for the voltage variation, it is the 90 to 110% of our nominal RMS voltage. So for Meralco, we do have several service voltages that is available. For secondary voltage, we have 230 volts, 400 volts in the 460 volt service voltage. Whereas for the primary metering, we have 13.2 kV, 13.8 kV, and 34.5 kV. So it depends on the location where our facilities are being served by the utility like Meralco. And for the large industrial and other commercial, that is more than 10 MVA, we could serve them up from 69 kV or 115 kV sub-transmission grid. So all of that, Meralco as utility should be able to maintain the voltage between 90 up to 110% at the connection point. And for the voltage total harmonics distortion, it is within the 5% as per PDC and as well as the total demand distortion or the TDD. And for the voltage unbalance, it is within 2.5%. So why power quality is important? So we have to avoid the unwanted power interruptions to prevent early deterioration of our equipment service life, and as well as to prevent production and opportunity losses. So there are some time in 2020, there's this news in the social media wherein the poultry farm in the Laguna area, there were 43,000 chickens died because of loss of power. This has come after a pre-arranged interruption conducted by Meralco. However, the poultry farm was unable to transfer to switch their power supply from Meralco to their generating set. Thus, for more than 4 hours that have no power, the ventilation of the poultry affects the chickens. It resulted to production and opportunity losses. And as well in 2021, as early in February, there were advisory from the Department of Energy to all the DUs provided that in order for the rollout of the COVID-19 vaccines, the DUs should able to ensure reliable and as well as stable power during this time. So when we say reliable, it means that the electric power is there, the service availability, the electric service availability. But when we say stable power, it is the power quality that it is meant. So there is the difference between the service availability of the electric power and the stability of the electric power. So that's where the power quality plays the important role. So it doesn't mean that we do have our electricity. It means that we do already have no concerns for voltages or other power quality concerns. So these are some of the power quality hazards that might affect our distribution lines and as well as our supplies to our end users. So first, rain and thunderstorm. So we know that our country, Philippines, is not new to this rain and thunderstorm. In fact, presently we do have a storm coming for this within the weekend. So as utility, as Meralco, we are already prepared for this coming typhoon. And broken transmission lines, cable, landslide, substation failure, maybe due to flooded substation, broken distribution pole. This one is familiar when there are vehicles hitting our power lines and as well as our distribution poles. Lightning strikes and also including the thunderstorm and some contacts from our animals such as snakes, birds, and other animals as well. And to add, there are also trees coming in contact with our lines and as well as construction, wherein there were some contacts when we do have construction in our facilities, we do have renovations, and we have these incidents that having an unwanted contacts to our facilities, to Meralco, that will affect the operation and as well the supply voltage to our end users. So for the common power quality issues, first we have to discuss about voltage mismatch, followed by the voltage unbalance and the voltage sag. So for the voltage mismatch is the discrepancy between the supply nominal voltage with the rated voltage of the equipment. So here in our example, we have an aircon A with 230 volts nominal voltage or the rated voltage of the equipment, and the aircon B with 220 volts rated equipment voltage. So we could see that they are the same manufacturer, but they have different rating of the voltage. But we have to take note that Meralco is 230 volts service voltage within 207 volt to 253 volt allowable variation. But we also get to mind that sometimes the mismatch is not just on our rating of the equipment, but as well to the setting of our voltage protection relay. So there are some instances wherein we receive some complaints, but upon checking or investigating, the voltage relay of our customers are being set that is not in the allowable voltage variation as allowed in the Philippine Distribution Code. Thus, it results to nuisance tripping. For the example voltage profile, we could see here the broken red lines, the upper and the lower broken red lines, horizontal, that is the allowable voltage variation at 230 volts. So from the upper line, that is the plus 10% of the 230 volts nominal or 253 volts, wherein the lower red line, the broken red line, that is the negative 10% or the 207 volts of the 230 volts nominal. So the 230 volts nominal is represented through our yellow broken line. So in case that we do have a 220 volt rating equipment, we could see that the 10% of the 220 volt rated equipment is 242 volts. So using the same voltage profile, the horizontal blue line, that is the plus 10% of the 220 volt rated equipment. It means that all the voltages above the blue line will already subject our 220 volt rated equipment to over voltage, despite the supply voltage is less than the 10% of the allowable variation of 253 volts, but our equipment is already subject to over voltage. So to further explain, we could see here at our table, at the leftmost side, that is the appliance voltage rating, we are going to compare between the 230 volts and the 220 volts rated equipment. In the shaded cells on the horizontal, that is the 230 volts nominal voltage of Meralco in its equivalent supply voltage. So let's say the allowable voltage variation for 230 volts is the same for the supply voltage of Meralco at 230 volts. So it has no problem or concerns, it is matched. Whereas for the 220 volt equipment, it is allowable variation from 198 up to 242 volts. So at 90% of the nominal voltage of 230 volts, that is 207 volts, the 230 volt is also the same at 90%, but for 220 volt rated equipment, it is already 94%. And at 100% of the nominal voltage, that is 230 volts, for 220 volt rated equipment, it is already 105%. And for 105% supply voltage of the nominal, that is the 241.5, for 220 volt, it is already the 110%. So any voltages above 242 volts or above the 105% of the 230 volts nominal, our 220 volt equipment is already subject to over voltage condition. So it is very destructible that might destroy or damage our equipment, not abruptly, but in the long run. It might be a surprise to us. So for the voltage unbalance, as defined in the Philippine Distribution Code, this is the maximum deviation from the average of the three-phase line voltages divided by the average of three-phase voltages, usually expressed in percent. It might be due to the unbalanced distribution of single-phase loads or unstable system neutral or one phase out power supply. When we say one phase out, so for a three-phase system, one of the phase voltages or line voltages was zero or out. So that will result to voltage unbalance. So for the example, for the voltage unbalance, we do have here example of our voltage readings for line 1 to 2, that is 441 volts, for line 2 to 3, that is 452.1 volts, and for line 3 to 1, that is 443.9 volts. So for computing the average voltage, it yields to 445.67 volt. So for finding the maximum deviation from the average, we do have the voltage line 2 to 3, that is 452. We subtract the average voltage of 445.67 volts, which now result to 6.43 volts. So in computing the voltage unbalance, 6.43, we divide by the average of the three-phase voltages, that is 445.67 volts, and multiply by 100% resulted to 1.44% voltage unbalance, which is way below the 2.5% as allowed in the Philippine Distribution Code. But although there are some times that the unbalance is allowable, but due to the overhead of majority of our system, so there are faults in our lines that will result to single phasing of our supply voltage. Thus, we recommend our end users to provide protections against the single phasing to protect our three-phase motors. And for the voltage sag, this is a decrease in the root mean square of the voltage between 10% to 90% of the nominal value for a duration of half cycle to 1 minute. So usually, we call this a voltage fluctuation, but the correct term is the voltage sag. So this is due mostly to the starting of electric motors or large loads, or there is a fault on either distribution, transmission, or generation system. So here is an example of some voltage sag data. So from the upper left, from the time plot, that is the RMS voltage. This one is for 34.5 kV nominal service voltage. So the upper and the lower broken red lines, that is the allowable 10% of the 34.5, that is 110% for the top, and that is 90% from the below. And there is some time in this one that there is a sag, and that sag, we check for the event in details waveform, we could see that the red line, that is a phase A, was able to go below the 90% of the nominal, that is for 58 milliseconds. So that is a voltage sag, and it might affect our operations, especially our motors, to their contactors. But subjecting this voltage sag, the magnitude and duration, in the accepted industry standards for the voltage sag, from the lower left, that is the SEMI F47 standard, or we could also use the IPIC curve standard. So we could see that the voltage sag was within the safe envelope of the allowable SEMI F47 standard. It means that our equipment should be able to ride through this voltage sag and should not affect our operations or the equipment itself. So our reasons for the voltage sags is due to the fault, either line to ground or line to line faults in our distribution system, due to weather, trees, public interference, animals. So public interference not only limited to construction, but as well to kite flying, balloon strings that will affect our distribution lines. And also internally induced plants events in our facilities and in our plants due to starting of large inrush load, especially if we do not have the reduced voltage starter for our motors. So although utilities like Meralco can reduce the number of events by conducting tree trimming, root cause analysis, it is impossible to eliminate all voltage sags. Hence, it is best that we should ready by investing in some power quality conditioners to further improve our operations and ride through these voltage sags. So these are some preventive measures taken by Meralco. So first is for conducting thermal scanning of our distribution lines and facilities. So once we detect there are some abnormalities during the conduct of the thermal scanning, Meralco will schedule a pre-arranged interruption to correct these abnormalities. And also conducting full ground system testing. So this is important, especially during lightning and thunderstorms, in order to protect our lines, especially our equipment, from being damaged due to excessive of the lightning strike or induced energy from the lightning. And for the tree trimming, Meralco conduct this to further improve our maintenance to prevent outages due to trees to tree trimming or tree pruning, and also for the vegetation. And also distribution transformer load testing. Meralco have this program in order to check whether the distribution transformer serving our customers is still within the efficient loading, let's say from 40 up to 80% load of the transformer. So once it is found as overloading more than 100%, Meralco will going to have the program to correct this overloading of our transformers. So it depends if our contracted capacity is within the contract, so Meralco will correct this without having our customers to pay. But if our contracted capacity exceeded, so the customers will have to upgrade our contract in order for our facilities also to upgrade as well. And for the pole inspection, Meralco conduct this to check for any foreign objects, abnormalities, or any defects that may found in our poles, and that is already for subject for replacement or correction. And installation of animal deterrents. So we have these bird spikes on the left picture. So our cross arm, that is where the insulators were being placed, were given as a spike so that the birds will not going to go there. That might result to line to ground fault. And these cones at the middle in the right picture, that is the snake cones, that is to prevent the snakes to coming up to our distribution lines and facilities. And installation of overhead shield wire and other line maintenance activity is being done to prevent outages due to lightning, to thunderstorms, and other events that might affect our supply voltage. And also the adjustment of our DT tap changer. And for the DU equipment and materials for improvement of supply, so Meralco conduct voltage studies in areas where there are concerns of voltage. So we have to provide line AVRs like in this picture to further improve the voltage along the distribution lines. But most of the Meralco substation are already equipped with on-load tap changer. It means at a substation level, the voltage is already regulated. Thus, it is a minimal to installation of the AVRs. And as well as conversion from bare conductors to covered overhead lines. So in these coming years, Meralco will be aggressively convert the bare overhead lines to covered overhead lines to address the transient faults due to trees and vegetation and some animals or some other activities like renovations and construction that will have a temporary or transient contacts with the Meralco lines. And as well as installation of fiberglass cross arm. So this fiberglass cross arm will prevent the line to ground fault that might affect between the animals, like such as birds resting on the cross arm of our poles, and then had the contact between the lines and the steel cross arm that will result to line to ground fault. Thus, it's a good investment to install and to replace the steel cross arm with the fiberglass cross arms. So utilities and customers share the responsibility of managing power quality. So as TU for Meralco, tree trimming, lightning arresters, grounding maintenance and testing, and providing PQ information to our customers in order to have this relationship. And for the customers, they have to understand their respective equipment that are vulnerable to power quality, and as well as to observe proper wiring and grounding. And if they have this very, very high requirement to power, might as well invest in PQ solutions on their load side. So with that, thank you for everyone. Thank you for your listening, and hope we could answer your questions later. Thank you. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, there you have it. Thank you very much, Mr. Vincent Pelago, for that wonderful presentation. Very substantial din siya, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people were able to pick up lots of information from everything that you presented. Again, just to remind everybody here, we will be sharing a copy of the webinar recording to all the attendees once it's uploaded on the Meralco website. So please stay tuned for that. Okay? And if you have any questions for Mr. Pelago, please do feel free to send them in through our Q&A tab, which you can find below. Okay? So we're going to be hearing from one more person here this afternoon, but then for now, just in case you weren't able to, or you weren't confident enough during our very first trivia game, here's another one for you guys to try your luck. Okay? So again, please be ready to type in your answer into the chat box, because the fastest person to type in the correct answer will get to win a very special prize, care of Meralco, which we will be announcing later on in the program. Okay, so everybody get ready. Here is the next question. Give at least one common power quality issue. Okay, we're looking for multiple answers, so please type in your answers right now. I'm gonna give you guys a clue, okay? So this time, there are 3 possible correct answers that we're looking for. And we're going to be flashing it in just a few moments. We'll just give a few more seconds for you guys to be able to type in your answers. Pabilisan po ito. So good luck to the people that are posting their answers right now. Okay, 3 more seconds, everybody. 3, 2, 1, and that is it. If you answered any of these possible correct answers, congratulations in advance to you guys. Voltage mismatch, voltage unbalance, and voltage sag. All right. Once again, congratulations in advance to our winners here this afternoon, and thank you very much for your participation. We're going to have one last review challenge in a little while, so please watch out for that and pay attention. Yan yung pinaka-importante. Okay, so now to move on with what's left for this afternoon's program, for our very last topic, our guest speaker will be sharing power quality solutions that can help your business. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving a very warm welcome for the Vice President of the Commercial Sales Group of MServ, Ms. Cecil Marvilla.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Kevin. Today we will take you through the different services of MServ for our dear SMEs. So let me load our slides. So MServ is Meralco Energy Inc. We are a fully owned subsidiary of Meralco, and we are one of the largest electromechanical companies in the Philippines, as well as an ESCO. So that's an energy services company. And we have over 100 years of Meralco experience, as our own engineers are also Meralco engineers. So on the next slide, we can also give you quality assurance in every project with timely execution, which is very important, as well as competitive price. And we can give you services ranging from energy, indoor air quality, safety and auxiliaries, operations and maintenance, as well as automation. And of course, power quality, which is our topic for today. So we can do everything from the audit or PQ study, all the way to advisory, design of the different solutions that you may need, procurement of the necessary intervention, installing it or building it, and then monitoring it with smart meters or PQ readers. And then we can also finance it depending on the nature of the project. And as Vincent very thoroughly explained earlier, power quality is both the obligation and of the DU or the utility and the customer, because some of the triggers for power quality are actually load side. So it's within the customer's facility. So if you look at the graph on the screen, from the customer's perspective, 17% of PQ issues are from the utility, but actually, it's actually just 1%. So it's good to note that some issues are really from within our own facilities. So power quality is also a business problem. It's not just a problem of the facility, because it can lead, as Laser and Vincent explained earlier, it can lead to equipment downtime, productivity loss, even revenue loss for your businesses, dissatisfaction of your own customers, and OT or overtime to make up for the lost time, diba? So any power problem that is manifested in voltage, current, or frequency, it results in failure in misoperation of the equipment. So at MServe, we have power quality solutions to help. First, we do a very thorough analysis. So there are two kinds of PQ analysis. One is from the supply side, but you can also do one on the load side, so after the meter. So once you know what the problem is, what the exact nature of the problem is, we can recommend solutions and then implement these solutions. So we follow a least cost approach. We don't want you to spend a lot by installing all of these protection devices. We initially take a look at your controls, your motors, and other loads, and then move on to your protection equipment. And then if needed, we go to the overall protection, and the last solution will be with the utility. So as you move to the right, the protection becomes more expensive. So we try and keep it at the very on the left side so that you don't have to spend as much. So what are these solutions? First up, we have an active harmonic filter. This is by ComSys, the world's leading active harmonic filter manufacturer. It acts like a noise cancellation system which injects in equal and opposite frequencies to balance or to mitigate harmonics that is found within your system. So after filtering, you'll see the sine wave on the right, so it's much smoother. And this is recommended when there are significant nonlinear loads causing harmonics. So let me talk a bit about it a little further. It's called the ComSys ADF, and it corrects harmonics and power factor. And it's very space efficient. If you notice on the photo, it's quite slim. So if you have an existing facility, this is very easy to install. It's also very simple to install, and it has current and sensorless control. You can either mount it on the wall or it has cabinet options, and it just requires air cooling, no air conditioning required. It has a web user interface, very easy to use, and it's smart grid ready. You can also have a local LCD interface if you need it, and multiple units is modular, so you can employ multiple units which can be interconnected together. So aside from power quality, it can also correct to a certain extent reactive power unbalance and voltage variations or flickers. And then why is it very recommended by MServe is because if you look at the graph, at 7, they're all equal, all of the different brands. But as you move towards the right, nagde-derate na. The other brands are derated. So the efficiency of the ADF system is actually quite good. So it can be used for the different segments, for marine, energy, water treatment, industry, and data centers. So after a thorough PQ study, we will size the active harmonic filter for you and recommend the proper sizing. So aside from the ADF, we also have AVCs or active voltage conditioners or sag correctors. They compensate voltage sags and surges to reduce equipment downtime. It doesn't require any energy storage, and it's recommended when the downtime is caused by fluctuations. Another option is a UPS, which provides backup power when your regular power source or voltage drops to an acceptable level. And this one has a battery or an ultra capacitor. So those are the two kinds to consider. We also have AVRs, which can automatically maintain voltage at the same level. And this is now recommended naman for voltage mismatch between the supply and the requirement of the load. And then we also have a cap bank. If your PF or your power factor is below 85, you might want to look at installing a capacitor bank or a cap bank, which can automatically improve your power factor and reduce your reactive power component of your AC circuit. So at Meralco, they actually charge you if you exceed the PDC limit. So it actually pays for itself over time. So these are the things that we can also finance if the requirement is big enough. So just some things to remember. Power quality is an important aspect in the economic operation of your system. And various PQ problems may lead to other undesirable problems. And of course, you need proper mitigation devices. You can use them to maintain the level of power quality as desired. So even without buying any PQ equipment or any protection device, you may already be paying for it in terms of downtime and costs associated with current problems that the equipment is dealing with. Sorry for that. So to recap, at MServe, when you are experiencing power quality problems, call us so we can test the load side power quality condition of your facility, and then give you an evaluation of the exact nature of the problem. And then we will segment your facilities or your different loads to actually assess the criticality of these different loads, and then choose the least cost solution for you. So that's it. Thank you for listening this afternoon, and we'll take questions later.
All right. Thank you very much, Ms. Cecil Marvilla. Another virtual round of applause, please, for Ms. Cecil. Okay, so now that we've heard from all of our speakers for this afternoon, before we proceed with this afternoon's panel discussion, we have one last trivia question for you guys to give you more chances to be able to win special prizes before we conclude this afternoon's program. Okay, so just in case you need a little refresher, pabilisan na naman po ito. I'm going to read out the question, give you the cue, and once I give you the cue, the fastest person to give the correct answer will get to win a special prize care of Meralco. Okay, so pay attention, everybody. Here it is. Name at least one power quality solution from MServe. Okay, so go ahead and type in your answer right now. I'm going to give you a heads up once again. We're looking for multiple possible correct answers here. So if something comes to mind, I think the best thing to do, type it in, malay mo. You might be able to win by the end of this trivia question. Okay. So being that people are already trying their luck here, in the interest of time, I'm going to have to cut our time here to give you guys to answer in probably 5 more seconds. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, thank you very much once again to everybody who typed in your answers. The first person who gets any of these answers correctly will get to win active harmonic filter, or AHF, active voltage conditioner, or AVC or sag corrector, an interruptible power supply, or UPS, automatic voltage regulator, or AVR, and automatic power factor correction with capacitor bank. If you answered any of these correctly, and kapag ikaw yung nauna, you get to win a prize. Okay. Thank you very much once again for your active participation. Please stay tuned as our trivia winners will be announced before the end of this afternoon's program. Thank you once again to all of you guys. Okay, so now to circle back to what I mentioned earlier, at this point, ladies and gentlemen, I can already see that all of you have already posted some comments and questions directed to our speakers. So now this brings us to our panel discussion for this afternoon. So with that being said, why don't we call back our speakers, Ms. Laser Joy Cueto, Mr. Vincent Pelago, and Ms. Cecil Marvilla. Hello, everybody. Thank you again for joining us this afternoon. If you can hear me properly, can you wave to the camera as well?
Kevin.
Wonderful. Thank you also for the verbal response, Mr. Vincent. Nag-enjoy po ba kayo sa pagpe-present kanina?
Medyo bitin.
Bitin, okay lang. At least we have this panel discussion. So for those that might want to clarify on a few points, or for those that still have questions, they can hear the answers directly from you guys. Okay? So before we begin, let me ask all of you here, are you guys ready to start? Wonderful. Okay. So I'm going to read out some questions, and some of which I will direct to some of you here. Okay? With the first question being, why is the system loss charged to us? And I think this is best answered by either you, Ms. Laser, or Sir Vince. So if any of you want to take this question, please do go ahead. So again, why is the system loss charged to us? Perhaps we can start with you first, Ms. Laser.
Sige po, to start, and add na lang din si Sir Vince, no? System loss is inherent to any systems. Siguro, simple analogy lang po for, i-lamanize ko for our customers. For example po, yung yellow, kapag bumili tayo, pag i-transport siya from one place to another, we know that there are different factors na makaka-affect. Pwedeng yung heat sa labas, yung distansya ng travel niya, such that pagdating ng yellow sa'yo, it is not the original size. So meron na tayong mga natunaw na part nun. Another example, pag nagpapatahi tayo ng gowns, especially kung customized. So pag nagpapabili tayo ng tela, hindi naman siya bibilin ng gupit na no? So ang kukunin natin is yung buo pa rin. Pero to make the dress, kailangan talaga magkakaroon ng mga retaso, yung mga sobra-sobra na hindi siya kailangan. So going back, in electrical systems, ERC allows distribution utilities to collect system loss. So system loss, since it's inherent to electrical systems, is of course collectible ni Meralco to customers. But again, as per the Energy Regulatory Commission, it is capped at 6.5%, which is currently what Meralco is collecting.
Thank you, Ms. Laser. Sir Vince, kayo po, is there anything that you'd like to add to this as well?
Yes, Kevin. So as mentioned by Ms. Laser in addition, so presently, Meralco system loss is below the cap of 6.5%. But despite below the cap, Meralco is still going intensive system loss reduction program. I myself was directly involved in conducting studies in lowering the system loss. Why does Meralco do this even though below the system loss cap? This is to further reduce the rates of Meralco in terms of system loss to further help our customers. And in addition also, system loss nowadays, all the Meralco use, admin use of system loss was not shouldered by the customers. So admin consumption of Meralco is being billed to Meralco. Unlike before, the admin use of the utilities was being allowed or included in the system loss recovery. So it was removed during the amendment of the EPIRA, amendment of the RA 7832 through the EPIRA. And in lowering the system loss, it will also a savings to our customers. So this system loss charge is also a pass-through to our bills. So it is not going to Meralco, but it's going to our government for other programs in relation to the system loss. So we do have also the recoveries under and over recovery. So you might see that there are some refunds or some collections due to the recoveries of this system loss. Thank you, po.
Thank you, Sir Vincent. Thanks again, Ms. Laser, for answering the first question here. Again, reminding all our speakers here as what Ms. Laser and Sir Vince did for our first question, just in case you want to add on to a question that's being addressed, feel free to chime in at any point. All right, just let me know. Okay. And for the rest of the audience here this afternoon, if you want to add to the question and answer portion, if you have anything that you'd like to direct to our speakers, just feel free to type in your questions or clarifications or comments into the Q&A tab below. Okay, next question. Can the demand charge amount be lowered? Ms. Laser, kayo po, maybe you might want to take this.
Thank you po, Sir Kevin. Thank you. So the demand charge itself of 232.2 pesos per kilowatt is again a rate approved po by Energy Regulatory Commission or ERC. But its contribution to your bill is based on either your actual demand or your guaranteed minimum billing demand. I think for this concern, it is better that we refer you to our biz partners in your area so that we can reach out to you closer, so that we can review and reassess your contract with Meralco on how we can help you on this specific concern.
Thank you, Ms. Laser. Okay, if no one wants to add to that, I'm going to move on to our next question here. I think this is along the lines of what you presented earlier, Ms. Cecil. How do power conditioners work? Ms. Cecil, would you want to take this question?
Yeah, thanks, Kev. Power conditioners are general terms for any PQ solution, but for fluctuation, the equipment is an active voltage conditioner, and this corrects the fluctuation by correcting the input voltage supplied to the load.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Cecil. All right, moving on to our next question that was sent over. Do the voltage sags affect the power factor, thus affecting the bottom line of increased pricing charges? Sir Vince, kayo po, perhaps you would want to take this question.
Thank you, Kevin. So I think the bottom line of the question is it will increase the price or the charge to our customers. But we could see that voltage sag is just a small portion of our duration. It is from half cycle to 1 minute, but our charges, especially the demand charge, is the average, the maximum average of the 15 minutes. So if you distribute the effect of the voltage sag to the 15 minutes maximum average, it will not affect, it is very negligible, this effect of the voltage sag to our demand to our customers. So these questions was being raised mostly in conduct of our forum to the different electrical engineers because of this concern that voltage sags might affect the billings, but it does not. So we could check from our bills for the demand charge, we could check from the monthly that it does not rather increase our voltage due to the abrupt increase due to the effect of the voltage sag. So it will not affect our bills. Thank you po.
Thank you din po sa inyo, Sir Vince. And I'd like to express my appreciation towards you for making casual consumers like me understand all these technical terms. I'm sure very useful din to pakinggan ng mga bisita natin for this afternoon. And again, I hope this information will be useful to you guys as well. So feel free to participate in our panel discussion here this afternoon. Okay, so moving on to our next question here. What is the power quality solution recommended for voltage mismatch between incoming supply and rating of the electrical equipment such as motors? So I suppose this is along the lines of what you presented also earlier, Ms. Cecil. Might you want to take this? And again, to everybody else here, feel free to add on to the answers here if you guys would want. Ms. Cecil po.
If there's a voltage mismatch between incoming and the load, an ABR is recommended to help adjust the voltage up or down. But they can also use a step up or step down transformer with tap changer, but you need to really calculate what should be accounted for. Maybe our friends from Meralco can elaborate.
Okay, friends from Meralco, Ms. Laser, Sir Vince, anything that you might want to add to this as well? No? Okay. Sige. Thank you again, Ms. Cecil, for that. I suppose it's... Okay, Sir Vince. Yes po.
So let me answer this for the recommended solutions in the voltage mismatch between the incoming supply in the electrical equipment such as motors. So mostly of our customers, let's say you have this 440 volt rated motor and you apply for Meralco that is 460 volt contracted voltage. So there is already a difference of 20 volt between the 440 volt motor and the 460 volt rated equipment. So mostly Meralco will tell you that our supply is within the allowable voltage of the PDC. So to provide the solution, you could ask for lowering the top setting of our distribution transformer serving the customers. And in addition to that, you could employ transformers on your side. Maybe you could have the step up or step down transformer or multiple taps transformer. Let's say you have this transformer input of 440 volts in the multiple tap, or let's say rather you have this transformer multiple taps of 460 volts input from the supply of Meralco, and it has a multiple taps of 400, 420, 440, 460, 480. So that is a special voltage transformer. And you could ask some manufacturers in the Philippines if they have this kind of transformer to address the voltage mismatch between your motors and the supply voltage from Meralco. Thank you po.
All right. Thank you very much, Sir Vincent. Ms. Laser, kayo po. Let me know if there's anything that you'd like to add to this as well. Meron po? Okay na po. Okay. Okay, so I guess we should move on to our next question. What is the acceptable reading or range of pole resistance test? Alam ko kakasagot nyo lang po, Sir Vince, but then perhaps you might want to take this as well. What is the acceptable reading or range of pole resistance test?
So for Meralco, we have this standard that from the substation for the first five poles, that is 5 ohms, and succeeding poles is 15 ohms. So that is the standard being practiced by Meralco. So 15 ohms from the substation, 5 poles from the substation, succeeding 15 ohms po yung ating standard that we are being observed in Meralco. Thank you po.
Okay, maraming salamat po, Sir Vince. Moving on to our next question. What is the power quality solution recommended for fluctuations caused by short duration voltage variation? What is the power quality solution recommended for fluctuations caused by short duration voltage variation? Ms. Cecil, perhaps you might be the best person to answer this.
Okay, thank you, Kev. Depends on the duration of the fluctuation. So you can use a SAC corrector or a UPS if the duration is very short. If it's sustained, you might want to use a power conditioner. Sorry, the UPS is more for sustained durations, while the AVC or the SAC corrector is more on the short duration. So it depends really on the PQ study and the results of the evaluation. It will tell you exactly what kind of solution that you need.
All right, wonderful. Thank you very much, Ms. Cecil. Again po, Sir Vince, Ms. Laser, I'm going to give you the opportunity to add. Baka lang may maidadagdag pa po kayo.
So in addition po from Ma'am Cecil, maybe you could, our customers would study their facility on what really affects their facilities. It might be a short duration interruption or a voltage sag. So for the short momentary interruption that is around less than 1 minute, you could invest in a UPS, either with battery or a flywheel storage. And for the voltage sags, or what we term as fluctuation, you might invest in the voltage sag correctors, in the automatic voltage compensators, as discussed by Ma'am Cecil earlier. So the UPS can address the short duration interruption or the momentary interruption, and as well as the voltage sag. But the voltage sag correctors may not be able to provide solutions against momentary interruptions, but rather only to the voltage sags problem. So that is a different approach and that both of the solutions that might be applicable to your facilities. So you have to first define what is really the problem that you are experiencing before you delve into the solutions. Thank you po.
Thank you then po, Sir Vince. Ms. Laser, anything that you'd like to add?
No more, Sir Kevin.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Laser. Just want to give an equal opportunity to all our speakers here. I really appreciate this part of having this webinar because at least for the questions that our guests are sending our way, we get to clarify and we get to thoroughly answer all of their concerns and questions as well. So very beneficial also to everybody attending this afternoon. Okay, again, moving on to our next question. Thank you again to Sir Vince, Ms. Cecil. We understand that voltage sag is inevitable. In order to protect our system, we install preventive devices to regulate the voltage coming in. But is it possible for Meralco to also install a DT that is already equipped with protective device like voltage regulator? Thank you. I think you touched on this earlier also, Sir Vince. You want to take this?
Yes, Kevin. Actually, last year, we are having this study with some offshore or overseas company presenting to us a DT with already a voltage regulator. But to your concern, that is voltage sag. So voltage sag, if you have a voltage sag problem, this cannot be addressed by a voltage regulator because we could see that the voltage sag, it has fast duration, half cycle to 1 minute. But the voltage regulator will correct the voltage on a seconds, let's say about 3 to 5 seconds or 10 seconds. So it means that the voltage sag was already experienced by our facilities before the voltage regulator could be able to correct the voltage. Thus, to address the concern on the voltage sag, we have to provide either a UPS or a battery storage for the voltage sag. But for the voltage regulator for the DT, that is to address the voltage variation. That is the long duration voltage that is allowed by the ERC for more than 1 minute. So there are different solutions. So for voltage sag, that is not for the voltage regulator to correct, but rather for storage devices like UPS. But for a long duration voltage problem, that is for the regulator. So we're hoping that we could have this pilot study within Meralco to have this DT with a voltage regulator. Maybe someday po, after we have this pilot and subject for approval with ERC. Thank you.
That's very interesting. Looking forward to that, Sir Vincent. Maraming salamat po for that very thorough answer once again. We have another question here that was just sent in, but then before we get to that, anything that kayo po, Ms. Cecil or Ms. Laser might want to add to Sir Vincent's answer?
No.
Okay, wonderful. Moving on. We understand, is there a fee for conducting power quality analysis by Meralco? Ms. Cecil, I think I should throw this answer to you.
Yeah, if it's on the supply side, our friends from Meralco, the different segments can do it for free if it's on the supply side. But for load side, this is after the meter, then there will be a small fee if you contract MServ to do it for you. But it comes with a full evaluation of your power quality issues. And it also includes solutions. And it's priced per point of connection or per point of analysis. So we try and pinpoint possible sources of power quality issue, and then we attach a PQ analyzer for each of those points. So it really depends on the number of points that you want to test.
All right, wonderful. Thank you very much, Ms. Cecil. So in a nutshell, sulit na sulit talaga for that small fee per point of connection. Very thorough na rin the evaluations and some of the solutions as well that are going to be presented at the same time. Okay, So inviting everybody again, for those who might want to send in your questions, please feel free to do so. Q&A tab is all you need to access for you to send in your questions. All right. Okay, next question. Can I consult with Meralco first on power quality concerns before I engage with MServe? Miss Laser, this question I would like to direct to you. Can I consult with Meralco first on power quality concerns before I engage with MServe?
Hi, so to answer this question, yes, you can first lodge your concern with Meralco before you go straight to MServe, because I think a better method for us to be able to resolve PQ concerns or problems is to first be able to identify the cause of the PQ problem. So saan ba may problema? Is it Meralco line side or customer load side? So if you will first go to Meralco, we will generate a report so that our crew can go visit your site, and then they can assess if sa Meralco bang problem or kay customer. So with that, we'll be able to drill down kung nasan bang problem. So if it's confirmed that the PQ issues being experienced by the customer is caused by the load side, then I think that will be the best time for us to refer you to MServe or our power quality system analysis team. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Laser. Appreciate that answer. Okay, moving on. Our next question that was sent in here. We understand that lower power factor can increase consumption. May I ask if a customer having low power factor has also a penalty? Miss Laser, parang sa inyo din po yata dapat to. Would you want to take this question, Miss Laser?
Sure, Sir Kevin. Yes, no, because distribution utilities encourage our customers to achieve or have a high power quality. So ideally, we have an ideal power quality which is at 85%. So if our customer will have a power quality of less than 85%, Meralco will incur penalty to the customer, to the bill of the customer.
Thank you very much, Miss Laser. Okay, so as much as we would like to entertain all the questions that you guys have sent in, we only have time for one more. So reminding you guys, for those that want to still continue to send in questions, don't worry. All your questions and concerns will be addressed even after this afternoon's program. Okay, so with that, I'm going to move on to our last question that we're going to be entertaining for this panel discussion. Is it true that when there are thunderstorms, you have to shut down your main switch? If so, once it's done, how many minutes before we can turn on the power again? Miss Laser and Sir Vince, I think the two of you can take on this, but let's start with you first, Miss Laser.
Sir Kevin, I think this can be better answered by Sir Vince.
Okay, Sir Vince, kayo
Yes.
po, I'm going to give the baton to you. I'm going to repeat the question for the benefit of everybody here. Is it true that when there are thunderstorms, tama po ba na kailangan i-shut off yung main switch? If so, how many minutes bago pwedeng i-on yung power ulit?
You may and you may not. Actually, you may, to protect your appliances against the unwanted energy coming from the lightning, maybe due to induced lightning in our system. You may not, if you have protections against thunderstorms and lightning, meaning you have a grounding system, proper grounding system in our facilities, and you have installed surge protective devices in our facilities. Not only in the main switch for the SPDs or the surge protective devices, but as well to our equipments or appliances that we need to protect against the surges. So actually, surge current is in our system. Once we switch on and off our light switch, the computer, the ref, the washing machine, and anything, induction in nature, it introduces a surge in our system. Thus, it is very important for us that we have to invest in these surge protective devices to protect our equipments. And also this grounding system, because if we don't have a grounding system, these surge protective devices are useless. So we have to have this our grounding system, connect to Meralco grounding system, so they are equally bonded to each other. So in case there are thunderstorms and lightnings, these unwanted surges will be dissipated directly to the earth or to the ground and not going to our appliances or operations that will affect by the thunderstorm. So you might experience that during thunderstorms, your sensitive equipment like the VFDs and other motors were getting shut down at no other causes. So it might be due to the grounding system in our facilities. So you might check on that. Thank you for the question.
Thank you then po for the answer, Sir Vincent. And I appreciate one of you guys sending this question in because this is something that I've been curious about also. So thank you for shedding some light on that, Sir Vincent. Ms. Laser, kayo po, anything that you might want to add to the question as well?
I'm okay, Sir Kevin. Thank you.
Miss Cecil, also, anything that you might want to add?
Oh, mahaba na yung answer ni Vincent.
Oh, thorough na. Nasakop na niyo lahat.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much once again to all of our speakers for joining us this afternoon. So aside from all the presentations that you gave to all of us, for also entertaining all the questions that were sent in. Thank you, Sir Vincent. Thank you, Ms. Laser. Thank you, Ms. Cecil. But before we let you guys go, I'm going to give you one last chance to share any parting words to our guests here. Ms. Laser, perhaps you can go first.
So, hi again, everyone. If you are interested to know more or to avail of Meralco services and programs, please feel free to reach out to us, your best partners, whenever and wherever. So you can visit our website, email us, or call our hotline. Allow us to be a part of your business success. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Laser. Sir Vincent, the floor is now back to you.
Again, thank you for everyone for giving your precious time to be with us for this afternoon to discuss about the power quality and some services being offered by Meralco and as well to our MServe. So you might want to visit the Meralco website and download this manual. This manual is available, downloadable in Meralco website for the power quality for our customers. This is a handbook for you made by Meralco. So that because we are your partners and we want your operations to be 24/7 operate without being experiences disruptions due to power quality. And again, as a DU business, we don't want you to have these interruptions because our bread and butter is on the meter. So once there's an interruption, it's also a loss to Meralco. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you again, Sir Vincent. Hopefully, hindi na kayo nabitin for the presentations this afternoon. Okay, and last but definitely not the least, Ms. Cecil, any parting words for our guests this afternoon?
Thank you, Kevin, and thank you, everyone, for attending this afternoon. Power quality is indeed a very important issue. And if your trouble is load side, remember, you can call any of your Meralco relationship managers, and they will refer you to us so that we can help solve your power quality issues. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Ms. Cecil. Once again, everybody, a virtual round of applause for our very esteemed speakers for today, Ms. Laser Joy Cueto, Mr. Vincent Pelago, and Ms. Cecil Marvilla. Thank you so much to all of our speakers. Palakpakan po natin sila lahat. All right, with that, we hope all of you here today were able to pick up relevant tips on how to address your power quality concerns. Very insightful exchange. Thank you once again to all of our speakers. And reminding you guys, for those who have questions that we weren't able to address during the Q&A session, we're going to be reaching out to you after this afternoon's program. You may also encode your concerns or requests through our concerns form via the link posted in our chat box. Or you may also scan the QR code, which we will be flashing right now on your screens. All right, and in case you have other power quality related or power related inquiries, you may reach out to our biz partner managers through the channels being flashed on your screens as well. Okay, hope you guys were able to take note of that. Hope you guys were able to take a snapshot because this is very vital information, especially if you need some help with your inquiries. Okay, so just in case na nakalimutan nyo, we have yet to announce our very lucky winners for the trivia challenges that we played for this afternoon. But before I announce our lucky winners, we want to take one last poll for with all of you guys here once again. Meralco Biz wants to ensure that we continue engaging with your preferred time and place. So while we love doing these webinars with and for you, don't we all missing seeing each other face to face? So with that, let me ask all of you here, for our future Meralco event, would you still prefer to have it online, like this webinar, on ground, where you can meet your Meralco Biz partner managers face to face, or hybrid, where you have the option to go on site while the event is being streamed live online for those who won't be able to make it to the venue? Please type in your answers into the chat box right now. Very important information, because as much as we enjoy doing these online webinars for all of you, I think it'd be safe to assume that we can start considering getting to meet you guys face to face once again. So just let us know if you want to meet online, on ground, or a mix between the two, hybrid. Okay, thank you once again to everybody who typed in your answers. Very vital information for us to consider. Now we have our next question that we'd like to share with all of you here. What is your preferred schedule for Power Up events? What day of the week? And is it in the morning or afternoon? Okay, please type in your answers in the chat box right now. So if we are to do these events in the future, what is your preferred schedule? What day of the week? And what time of the day? So what day? And if you prefer to do this in the morning or afternoon, okay? Let us know, because the more feedback that you give us, the better that we can improve our future Power Up events. Thank you very much to everybody typing in right now. We're going to give you a few more seconds to type in your responses. And there you have it. Thank you very much for your very kind feedback. This will definitely help us plan our future events. We really appreciate it. All right, so now that that's out of the way, we are now about to announce the winners of our trivia challenge. Okay, so please pay attention, baka kayo na po yung nanalo. Congratulations to the following winners. Noriel Laresma from PMR Pallet Limited Company or Limited Corporation. Thank you so much once again for joining in. Congratulations, Noriel Laresma from PMR Pallet. Congratulations as well to Wendy Pangasinan. I hope I'm reading that correctly. Wendy Pangasinan from Margaret Enterprise, Inc. And our last winner, Christine Pacle from the Catalog Shopper. Christine Pacle from the Catalog Shopper. So once again, Noriel Laresma, Wendy Pangasinan, and Christine Pacle. Congratulations to the three of you. Please wait for the message and personal call from our Meralco representatives who will advise you on how to claim your prizes. Okay, so before we conclude this Power Up Live webinar, we would highly appreciate it if you can also answer our short survey in just a few steps. We value your inputs and insights and would welcome receiving your feedback regarding your experience here at Meralco Power Up Live. Please scan the QR code that you now see on your screens. And you can also choose to just click on the link that was sent in your chat box. All right, there you have it. You guys have certainly been a most cooperative audience, and it's truly been quite an insightful afternoon. So I hope everybody was enlightened and empowered through the topics presented by our distinguished panel of speakers. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us today, and we hope to see you again in the next edition of Meralco Power Up Live. Once again, I'm Kevin La Peña. Stay healthy and safe, and have a pleasant day, everyone. Thank you very much.